At 4:51 a.m. on May 1, 2010, a 911 dispatcher in Suffolk County received a call that would haunt the department for over a decade. Shannan Gilbert, a 24-year-old escort, was at a client's home in the gated community of Oak Beach when she fled into the night. For 23 minutes, she screamed that someone was trying to kill her. After knocking on a neighbor's door in a total panic, she disappeared into the thick, freezing marshland. The search for Shannan eventually led police 7 months later to this stretch of Ocean Parkway. While they didn't find her that day, a canine unit alerted to something hidden in the dry brush just off the shoulder of the road. It was a burlap sack containing human remains. This 15-mile ribbon of highway quickly transformed into an unprecedented crime scene. Within days, police found 3 more women wrapped in burlap, placed at nearly equal distances. By April 2011, the tally reached 11 victims, including a young child and an unidentified male. The killer exploited the unique geography of the South Shore. By choosing a narrow strip of land pinned between the bay and the Atlantic, he operated a private graveyard in total silence, dumping bodies just feet away from a major public highway for years without detection. Beyond the disposal of the bodies, the killer maintained a psychological grip on the victims' families. In July 2009, the 15-year-old sister of victim Melissa Barthelemy answered her phone to a calm male voice. He detailed exactly what he had done to her sister. The FBI traced these calls to Times Square and Madison Square Garden, using burner phones in the middle of Manhattan's densest crowds. He stayed on the line for less than 2 minutes to avoid being located. These taunting calls allowed the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit to build a highly specific profile in 2011. They looked for a local white male, likely between 30 and 50 years old, with a high-paying, respectable job. He lived a meticulously organized double life, moving between a professional career and a dark hunting ground he knew better than the police. Investigators now had a physical graveyard, digital footprints from Manhattan cell towers, and a behavioral profile of their suspect. Yet despite these leads, the momentum of the investigation suddenly vanished after 2011. For the next 10 years, the case remained at a total standstill. A killer with a clear behavioral blueprint and a known disposal site managed to walk free, while the largest manhunt in the region's history fell silent. The investigation's collapse coincided with the 2012 appointment of James Burke as the Suffolk County Police Chief. Burke immediately dismantled the case's progress. He blocked the FBI from accessing the files and removed the veteran detectives who had been leading the hunt. Disinstitutional paralysis was a matter of self-preservation. Burke was a frequent client of the same high-end sex worker networks the killer targeted. He hosted illicit parties that involved other powerful local figures, creating a lifestyle he needed to keep hidden from federal investigators. Burke's priority was his own reputation, not the victims. He stalled the case for years to ensure that any deep dive into the victims' phone records or client lists wouldn't lead back to him. This interference only ended when Burke was eventually arrested on federal corruption charges. The case remained cold for a decade because the man in charge of the hunt was more concerned with shielding his own behavior than finding a killer. The investigation didn't fail due to a lack of evidence. It was held hostage by the very department sworn to solve it. In 2022, a new police commissioner, Rodney Harrison, broke the decade of silence. He established a joint task force that finally allowed the FBI and local detectives to share data without interference from the old leadership. While reviewing the original files from 2010, the task force found a lead that had been buried for years: a witness report of a green shirt seen at the home of victim Amber Lynn Costello just before her disappearance. Data from the DMV led detectives to a specific owner of that vehicle, Rex Heuermann. He was a Manhattan architect living in Massapequa Park, a neighborhood only 20 minutes away from where the bodies were found on Gilgo Beach. Heuermann matched the FBI's 2011 profile with terrifying accuracy. He was a professional with his own firm in Midtown Manhattan, walking distance from the spots where the taunting phone calls were made, who maintained a quiet, suburban life that masked his movements. By removing the institutional barriers and returning to the raw data, the new task force achieved in a few weeks what a corrupted department couldn't or wouldn't do in 10 years. Surveillance teams began trailing Heuermann, watching as he continued to use burner phones and obsessively search the internet for updates on the Long Island serial killer. He was tracking the very investigation that was now closing in on him. To secure a conviction, the task force needed a direct forensic link. In early 2023, they followed Heuermann to a sidewalk in Manhattan where he discarded a pizza box. Detectives immediately recovered the box to extract a DNA sample from the leftover crust. Scientists compared the saliva from that pizza crust to a hair found inside the burlap sack used to wrap Amberlynn Costello in 2010. The result was a 99.96% match, providing the physical evidence required to move for an arrest. A man who had successfully navigated the legal system and police barriers for 13 years was finally identified through a single discarded piece of trash. Rex Heuermann was arrested on a Manhattan street in July 2023. A subsequent search of his Massapequa Park home revealed a hidden vault containing over 200 firearms and a soundproofed basement, evidence of a dark obsession hidden behind a professional career. The delay in this case exposes the cost of societal apathy. Because many of the victims were escorts, early media coverage and police interest were often minimal, providing the killer a silent window to operate while the public remained largely indifferent to the disappearances. This silence was weaponized by Chief Burke. He used his authority to keep federal investigators away from a case file that might lead back to his own illicit parties, effectively shielding a serial killer to protect his own position. While the system stalled, the families of the victims were forced to fight alone. For 13 years, they advocated for their loved ones against both a predator and a police department that had effectively abandoned the search. Rex Heuermann's capture proves that a professional resume and a suburban address can serve as a perfect mask. His arrest shows that when institutions finally stop protecting their own interests and begin valuing every life, even the coldest cases can be solved.